Government plans to toughen penalties for honor-related crimes. The Danish government intends to increase the punishments for crimes related to honor, aiming to send a clear message that such offenses will not be tolerated. The move comes as part of broader efforts to combat negative social control and protect individual freedoms. Everyone in Denmark, children and adults alike, should have the right to live a free life. This is the foundation of the government's focus on combating negative social control. Unfortunately, we continue to see increasing examples of young people, especially from minority ethnic communities, whose freedoms are restricted due to violence, threats, and negative social control rooted in honor-based cultural norms. Because of this, the government plans to introduce legislation that will make it an aggravating circumstance if a crime, such as violence, threats, or in the worst cases, murder, is motivated by honor-related reasons. Currently, Danish law already considers it an aggravating factor if, for example, an act of violence is wholly or partly motivated by the victim's ethnic origin, religion, or sexual orientation. This protection will now be extended to cover crimes with honor-related motives as well. Minister for Immigration and Integration, Kare Dybvad Bech, states, "We must not accept parallel societies in Denmark where especially minority ethnic women are oppressed by rigid honor-based cultural values. This is a serious problem that the government continuously works to combat." In January, we introduced 22 initiatives to support victims of negative social control, including increasing the number of safety consultants and crisis center places for families with children. But it's also important to send a clear message to those who uphold these honor cultures that there is no place for them in Denmark. Violence and threats are always despicable, but when perpetrators justify their violence by appeals to honor, it can also prevent others from challenging certain religious or cultural norms out of fear of becoming victims of honor-related crimes. We are now stepping up efforts to fight this. New legislation and initiatives. Higher fees for citizenship applications. From June 18, 2025, the fee for applying for Danish citizenship through naturalization will increase. There will also be fees for repeat applications. Extension of the Ukraine special law. Denmark follows the EU decision to extend the directive granting residence permits to displaced people from Ukraine. Tighter rules for foreigners without legal residence. The government proposes stricter rules for foreigners without legal residence, including restrictions on access to healthcare, education, and the ability to run businesses. Action Plan Against Racism. The government has introduced a plan with 22 initiatives to combat negative social control and support freedom against oppression. New registration practice for people from Taiwan. The ministry has standardized how people from Taiwan are registered to ensure consistent treatment. Statistics and control asylum seekers in the EU. Denmark continues to receive among the lowest numbers of asylum seekers per capita in the EU, which the government views as a sign of an effective immigration policy. Dispensations without Danish citizenship. There has been political debate about whether foreigners without Danish citizenship should have the authority to grant secret dispensations that could lead to permanent residence and citizenship. For the integration and the labor market, it means expansion of the Integration Basic Education (IGU) scheme. The government and labor market partners have agreed to extend and expand the IGU program until 2028. This will allow more refugees and family reunification immigrants, aged 18-50 with up to 20 years of residence to enter the workforce. This was brought to you by InfoNews Media TV. Subscribe for more.